You may have heard, folks, about a Warner Brothers Discovery sale going on right now. And who are the interested parties? Who is actually part of all this? What kind of machinations of deals are we hearing in the background? Well, we're going to go ahead and cover it, and that and much, much more. What I want to focus on, though, is the park side of things, but we had to set up the story first and get into that whole realm of this whole merger or acquisition, or whatever it will happen to be. Let's go ahead and go to that park place. Warner Bros. Discovery is officially for sale. Zaslav confirms strategic review in internal memo to staff. This by Marvin Montanaro, October 21st, 2025, right here. Warner Bros. Discovery may soon look very different from the company that merged just 3 years ago. In an internal email sent Monday morning, CEO David Zaslav confirmed to employees the company's board of directors has begun a formal process to evaluate a broad range of strategic options, including potential sales, mergers, and structural separations. This is very, very profound culture, and it was even made more interesting because according to some reports, some people were saying that not only were Paramount Skydance actually interested in this deal, which we had heard before, and we'll get into that, but also that there are multiple suitors taking place, like Comcast and Netflix. Now, Netflix recently, this by that park place as well, Netflix claims it won't buy Warner Bros. Discovery. Co-CEOs reiterate focus on organic growth over acquisitions, again by Marvin Montanaro, October 22nd, 2025. It says this right here: nothing is a must for us to meet the goals that we have for the business. Sarando says, the co-CEO of Netflix, we have no interest in owning legacy media networks, so there's no change there. Very interesting, but we haven't heard yet from Comcast. Here's the other interesting thing here. Culture, when evaluating all this, apparently Zaslav has rejected acquisition talks with Ellison as part of Paramount Skydance now 3 times, and apparently I believe it was that second time that they were offering, I think, $24 a share compared to the 20 of the offer prior. That's what led to this whole announcement from Warner Brothers to say, hey, let's go ahead and acquire or be acquired by somebody else, which, people have said for a long time now. That brings us to most recently, where this is actually very interesting. So apparently the latest offer was 80%, I believe, in cash, 20% in stock and all of that. And this right here, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to your culture. Sorry, this is a long, intro right here, but I kind of want to set the stage for what is going on because this is moving so rapidly. Apparently, according to Bloomberg, CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav, has reportedly told employees that Amazon and Apple are interested in purchasing the company. Whoa, big news here. It's a very much a changing landscape, and it will have effects on, obviously, the entertainment side of the business, cable, streaming. There's no question about that. We'll get to theme parks in just a moment. But, Culture, I want to kind of hear from you. What are your initial reactions to this news? Who do you think might end up buying Warner Brothers Discovery, or I guess Warner Brothers in the end? Your thoughts, please.
Well, let's just look at it from just recent deals, and when I say recent, I mean in the last decade that took place. Let's look at Disney's acquisition of Fox. This is the same playbook. This is the hint at the fact that you might be available to be acquired, and then court as many suitors as you can. And if what's being said is true, and you have 5 suitors out there, you're going to be able to ramp the price well beyond value. And that's what's going on right now. Zaslav is taking advantage of being a valuable, available studio, and that's a very rare thing indeed. The only 2 serious people in this, I believe, are going to be Comcast, obviously, and right. Obviously Skydance. Those are the 2 that are, I would consider, genuine and probably are going to go into bidding war mode. But so stepping away from this, I would say that Skydance would be out of their mind if they offered anything more than $30 a share. That is kind of like, why am I offering double the value of your company? It's very strange.
Well, the big thing about that too is that they have, I believe Warner Bros. Has $35 billion in debt.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like, I mean, that would be well over $100 billion, I do believe, in a purchase price for Warner Brothers, or at least the assets that they're willing to part with from Discovery, which is very, very interesting. I think in that third bid, by the way, with that 80% cash deal or whatever,
Yeah.
I think they were willing to give David Zaslav the co-CEO role of this newly formed entity when it's completed, that being Paramount, Skydance, Warner Brothers. So it's really, really interesting.
It's a sweet offer. He probably won't get better. He's going to get he's going to get a different look when Comcast decides to make their offer. Like you said, I mean, we're going to start to hear the players make their moves and see how that goes. You have to remember, Comcast and Jeff Shell at the time was involved as part of that the Fox deal with Disney, and the Comcast guys were kept coming back to interrupt Disney's deal and get Iger to overpay by at least I think $27 billion.
Oh yeah,
so
initial bid was
it's really dumb. But I think it'll be really nice if Zaslav gives them some constancy in the new organization. I think that bears out well. So yeah, I know we've got a friend in the back here.
Absolutely. We've got a friend in the background right now, and we had to bring him on into this discussion right here. And how I want to go ahead and set him up, I want to go ahead and set him up for success. Let's bring him on. Ron from Follow the Bradley's Fun. Hello there, Ron. We were just talking about the potential acquisition of Warner Brothers, how that might change the media landscape. But what I kind of want to know from you, Ron, is if, let's say, Comcast were to offer something better than maybe Ellison, right, and were to fully acquire Warner Brothers and its assets right there, how might that change the theme park landscape? Because I think that would be most profound in a variety of ways. But I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this whole thing.
First of all, is my mic working? You can hear me okay?
Absolutely. Working just fine.
Just wanted to make sure. I think this is an important discussion. Actually, I think that this discussion, honestly, is paramount to entertainment and theme parks. And I had to start off by saying that if this is an interesting situation because it's reminiscent of the Disney acquisition of Fox. Disney,
yes,
Comcast wasn't in the discussion at first, and then they came in and they basically just forced Disney to keep upping their bid to put Disney in so much financial issues that, they ended up paying for Epic Universe. That's basically what happened. Disney ended up paying Comcast to build Epic Universe, and that hasn't gone over so well for Disney. So it's going to be an interesting situation. If Comcast were to actually buy Warner Brothers, then now they have the license here for the DC characters, but with Warner Brothers, Looney Tunes, DC all being over at Six Flags for such a long time, I don't know what's going to happen with that because honestly, I don't know as much about Six Flags. That whole landscape has changed a lot, right?
So, right. You'd have to. I would assume that you'd have to buy out. Let's say like a Comcast were to acquire Warner Brothers, right? And it's like, okay, well, we have the ultimate rights for those characters, but obviously there were Six Flags. You'd have to buy out, I believe, their contract, and then you could incorporate characters into the theme parks. And you got to think about it. Well, from Six Flags' point of view, which, by the way, is strapped for cash. I think they would like to have a cash bid like that. They would have to be paid as much as it would take to retheme and rebrand their existing IP within their parks, and that's 40 across the chain. So that's the issue right there.
It's a lot, and I wonder if they would ever even consider doing any type of sharing. But here's the thing: Comcast Universal, they have Marvel at Islands of Adventure in Florida, and that is such a stronghold on the Disney Corporation, who can't do anything with the Marvel IP that they owned in the U.S. parks, except for things like Guardians of the Galaxy. Very few things.
Well, that's interesting that you bring that up, Ron, because so at this point, I do believe if they, let's say they get Warner Brothers Discovery, Comcast or Warner Brothers, right, and you get the DC franchise with that. Let's just play out this hypothetical right there. There's actually language in that original Marvel contract that specifically states that no other comic book franchise can be featured within at least Islands of Adventure. I don't know if that's like the whole chain or whatever. I have to read the contract again, but it actually forbids them from using that. So in effect, one could say, okay, well, if we get all of that, then we can, certainly drop Marvel, go with DC, and now we can actually capitalize on those characters. Culture, there's one last thing I want to go to you about specifically right here. Let's play this out. Let's play the whole Comcast Warner Brothers scenario out right here. This is Hollywood, California. And, well, it's okay. It's technically north of Hollywood. Bear with me here, guys. This is kind of the Universal City meets Burbank kind of area of Southern California. Studio City, I do believe is what they call it. You can see right here, this is the Walt Disney Company up here. Down the road, you got Warner Brothers, and then down the road from that, you have Universal Studios. A lot of people have been saying that if Comcast were to buy Warner Brothers, you could make that your production studio hub in Southern California. And as far as it goes for the backlot of Universal Studios Hollywood, you could, in effect, remove large portions of the backlot and make that theme park space and really build out Universal Studios Hollywood into a resort, something that Comcast has been interested in for some time right now. What are your thoughts on that plan if that plays out?
I think they'd be foolish not to try to do something like that. But the problem is it's in California, so you're going to have enormous expenses that you wouldn't have in any other location.
True.
So, not to poo-poo it too much, but it's an opportunity. I think you can do that. Well, and again, I love that idea because it brings the 19 blocks that are Hollywood into real focus. So, right. And it would really help the production hub for all the studios as a whole. Just consolidating everything into one specific area. As far as the theme park aspect of that conversation, this is an opportunity for an entire resort area where you really didn't have room before, right? So
yeah, and that's the thing right there too. It's like, okay, if we're in an economic landscape in which studio productions aren't necessarily taking place in Southern California in general, do we need two production studios, that being Warner Brothers lot and the Universal lot? If Comcast were to acquire Warner Brothers, you can kind of offload all that, like I was saying before. Also, to playing Harry Potter footage right now, because the ultimate rights for this franchise are with Warner Brothers right now, right? And we did hear that there were some there was some friction in the UK, specifically because the Harry Potter franchise is already featured there by Warner Brothers themselves. Would Universal UK get the rights to Harry Potter? Apparently they have worked that out, but conceivably if Comcast buys Warner Brothers, that becomes a non-issue, when that deal is inked right there. So there's a lot of aspects to this. There's a lot of stuff that I kind of wanted to bring to your attention that maybe aren't being talked about in some circles. Us as a theme park channel, I kind of wanted to go over those with you. So we're going to be keeping very close watch on this because this absolutely has ramifications on the entire entertainment landscape. And if Comcast were to join in the fray, well, on theme parks as well.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.